You've heard the story. Miami is the new center of the world. The city has become a post-pandemic hotspot, with new homeowners and businesses flooding in.
At first, I think everyone really across the country thought that this would have a devastating impact on the real estate market. But what happened in Florida is that so many people ended up moving here. And because they were coming from out of state, in many cases coming from high tax states, and they were wealthy, they were willing to pay whatever. So they drove the prices up.
For real estate agents, the move to Miami trend has caused a gold rush. But there is a downside to all that growth. Realty Hop's February 2022 Housing Affordability Index had Miami above even New York City as the least affordable housing market in the nation.
What Realty Hop did was they looked at the top 100 cities in the US, and they compared median wages with median price of the home. So it's not like, it doesn't mean that it's the most expensive place to live in America, but what it means is that, like, compared to what people are making, they can't afford to buy home.
Florida had the highest rate of domestic migration in 2021, with more than 220,000 new residents. For those hailing from high-tax, high-income states like New York and California, moving to Florida provides a lot of buying power, if only you can find a home.
The first thing to go were single-family homes, obviously, which are the most desirable, and prices just completely surged, although they have been on the rise for years. There's a bigger disconnect because there's a lot of new residents who are making more money, but they're not making their money here. They're working virtually.
Despite the number of businesses opening up shop in Miami, there haven't always been equal opportunities for locals.
The first people to come over were the executives, the CEOs, the founders, who are obviously making a lot of money buying multi-million-dollar homes. But now I think you're starting to see a lot more like mid-level employees move down. And so the problem is that, like, the majority of them are bringing their employees with their higher salaries down here. In some ways, it's good for longtime homeowners who are, maybe they were ready to move, they want to leave South Florida, but in many cases they can't, if they want to stay here, they're outpriced, so they can't buy anything else. There are a lot of New Yorkers and Californians who are just making all cash offers and dropping all contingencies, and so they're not competitive. The locals can't really be competitive.
The wave of new residents may have a few other unintended consequences.
A lot of people who moved here, they were kind of getting away from, markets like New York, where there's a lot of rent restrictions and protections in place for tenants. And they're coming here, and you're kind of pushing people to their limits. So I think that you're going to start to see more of that.
So how does this all end?
The pace of home prices growing is slowing, which is in a way a good sign. But I don't think people will ever stop moving here. I just don't think it will be as intense, especially like when and if the pandemic ends.